What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
That can, or they were so different, we have already gotten used to seeing the South Korean automotive industry as one of the world's leading ones. The country's products are quite capable of competing with the cars of American, Japanese and European companies, including in their own markets. But in terms of history, this situation is quite recent. 4 decades ago, the country literally rejoiced when a relatively small company Donghae Motor presented a technically simple clone of the Jeep CJ5 SUV and gave it the name Korando, an acronym from the expression Korea can do, Korea can also do. The SUV was available with 2 versions of wheelbase, 2,390 and 2,895 mm, and under the hood there were gasoline and diesel engines. Isuzu paired with manual transmissions. All-wheel drive was provided by a transfer case with a rigidly connected front axle and reduction gear. Korando was produced with several types of bodies, 3- and 5-door station wagons, vans, pickup trucks, special ambulances. But all of them had a clear affinity with Jeep cars, including 9-seat Korando K9. In 1988, simultaneously with the transformation of the Donghae brand into SsangYong, 2 Dragons, the family had a side branch. The 5-seat SsangYong Korando family, also the result of cloning, this time the first-generation Isuzu Trooper. The second-generation Korando appeared in 1993. A short-wheelbase 3-door SUV, built on the basis of SsangYong Musso and borrowed a full set of Mercedes units. Well, since the design was engaged in the same great and terrible British congreenly, the appearance of the second Korando was no less ambiguous than in the case of Musso. Russians know this model better under the name TAG-AZ Taga since the assembly of SUVs was organized at the plant in Taganrog. However, not only Tagas produced in Taganrog, but also Korando brought from Korea are still running on the roads of Russia. The next, third-generation Korando appeared in 2010, and it again had nothing in common with its predecessor, neither from a technical point of view nor in terms of design, because the car with the factory code C200 was a crossover with a load-bearing body, and the external appearance was developed Atelier Ital design with the direct participation of Maestro Fabrizio Giugiaro. This model was sold in Russia, but for some reason under the name of Action New. The third Korando left Russia in 2015 together with the SsangYong brand, but the car was sold in other markets until 2019, when it was replaced by the 4th generation. The third Korando left Russia in 2015 together with the SsangYong brand, but in other markets the car was sold until 2019, when it was replaced by the 4th generation. Pride in the 4th generation in Korea, the official video of the model with the factory code C300 was shown in January 2019, and the international premiere took place in the same year at the Geneva Motor Show. This time the brand broke the tradition of calling the name Korando some fundamentally different car. It was also a crossover of the SUV-C segment. In accordance with the general trends, it became a little larger. The body has grown in length by 40 mm and the wheelbase by 25. But these changes cannot be called radical. Naturally, the equipment has changed. The car received a single for all crossovers of the brand 1.5-litre turbo engine EXGI 150T with an output of 163 horsepower and 136 horsepower. 1.6-litre diesel EXDI 160, paired with which could work either 6-speed manual or 6-speed classic automatic ASIN. The instrumentation was replaced by a 10.25-inch display, lighting equipment became fully diode, and the driver's life was facilitated by a solid set of electronic assistants. This is the configuration of Korando 4, which has changed the generic name of SsangYong to KGM, again reached Russia. However, the Russian specification still differs from the global. So, we will not have diesel versions, only gasoline. But the Korean 1.5-litre turbo motor, developed together with Austrian specialists, differs, as I have already noted in reviews. KGM Torres Tivoli. It produces 280 Nm of torque already at 1500 RPM. In addition, the representative office decided to save money on the dashboard. Russian configurations received a traditional combination. with analog speedometer and tachometer rather than a digital panel on which, among other things, you can display a navigation map. Ready for family life in Russia. Unlike the little Tivoli, the fourth Korando is quite suitable for the role of a family car. By length of wheelbase it practically does not differ from the larger model Torres, and it automatically means possibility to receive serious internal volumes. Indeed, the declared volume of the trunk of this model is 551 litres, and the passengers of the second row will not bump their knees. In the backs of the front seats, the collision with severe Russian conditions should not cause problems. The transmission has normal, sport and winter modes, and in critical conditions the automatic clutch of rear axle connection can be blocked. There is a heated steering wheel in both rows of seats, and even ventilation of front seats. There are no questions to the basic ergonomics. The steering column is adjustable in angle and reach. There is electric adjustment of lumbar support, and the range of movement of the driver's seat is enough even for a tall and large driver. But the most important thing is that the controls are organized in a quite traditional way. The rotor controller, in common parlance puck, on the central tunnel is responsible for the choice of driving modes, the buttons for switching on the auto hold mode, which is so convenient in city traffic jams. Hill descent assistant and ESP deactivation are quite logically gathered near the gearbox selector lever, and the climate control is carried out with the help of quite traditional keys and twists. Things are not bad with comfort. There is a dual-zone climate control media system with support for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, keyless access, adaptive cruise control and servo drive rear door, and also a decent set of electronic assistance, autonomous emergency braking system, systems of keeping in the lane, driver assistance in traffic jams and notification of safe distance. But here the pluses end and the minuses begin. The thing is that the full set of all possible options will be available only to those who choose the all-wheel drive version in the top configuration icon, and it, according to the already published price list, costs no less than 5,390,000 rubles. The average configuration dream is already deprived of a number of electronic assistance and adaptive cruise control, but it costs 4,790,000 rubles in the front-wheel drive and 5,050,000 in the all-wheel drive version. Well, the most affordable and, of course, relatively empty city configuration is offered for 4,390,000 rubles. Thus it will be only front-wheel drive with a fabric interior and electric drives of seats and a door of a trunk, as well as heating of a steering wheel, and a mass of other options will be unavailable. But for the same 4,390,000 you can buy a Hyundai Tucson with a 2-liter engine and in a fairly rich travel configuration, and for 5.3 million you can buy a new all-wheel drive Mazda CX-5 with a 2.5-liter 196 horsepower engine, Subaru Forester or even Toyota Highlander. And here the KGM representative office can only rely on a powerful marketing campaign with the slogan KGM, Reliable Korean Cars, on a 5-year warranty, on the rapid formation of a dealer network and on a subsidized loan rate. In conclusion, the KGM Korando successfully blends its rich heritage with modern design and technology, making it a compelling choice in the competitive SUV market. With its spacious interior, advanced features and impressive performance, this vehicle proves that a classic name can indeed evolve into something fresh and exciting. Whether you're looking for practicality, style, or innovation, the Korando stands ready to meet your needs. Thank you for joining us for this review, and we hope it helps you in your car buying journey.